So, hi guys, and welcome to the second episode on CG Talks. And today we shall be talking about a lot of things, ranging from political awareness in Nigeria to politics to power. I should not give everything out right now, but we have three beautiful guests in the house today. So, you guys should introduce yourself, tell the people your name. Finish.
You call me busy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Clifford, and I'm a writer and public speaker.
My name is
Naomi, shout.
My name is Naomi. I'm a writer on mental health.
Oh, that's amazing.
My name is Annie, and I'm a born sober artist.
You have a beautiful voice, by the way. So basically, what we shall be talking on this episode is politics. Like, you know what has been happening in the country lately. The whole Peter Obi, Tinubu is rigging and all that. Would you say this election, a lot of people were politically aware? I'd like to start from you, Annie.
I think it's clear to see that a lot of people were politically aware, like
Especially Gen Z.
Exactly. Most of the time, we don't even care about stuff like that. Like, we're just on the internet doing gender fights and all of that. That's what mostly people do. I felt like a lot of persons were like heads up about it. I mean, after the election, a lot of persons on my contacts were literally just doing the work of the INEC chairman. They were just broadcasting the results. Okay, this is my polling unit and all that. Everybody stayed back, waited for like their votes to be counted, and everybody was like saying, "Oh, how far this will happen? That's what happened." So I think a lot of persons were politically aware. Clearly, obviously.
What about you, Naomi?
I agree anyway because if you see my Twitter,
You see my Twitter?
if you see my Twitter, most of my Twitter cards, they were just majorly talking about, oh, Tabi, you have to get your PVC. Everybody was all on board to get their PVCs, going to the, excuse me, the polling unit. They actually stayed, like, people waited. And then I had this friend, she left early in the morning and it started raining, she was there. She
Yeah.
wanted to
Are you serious?
Stop. She just had to pass her vote, and she did, but oh well.
What about you, OG?
Yeah, people were more aware this time. I think what Annie said is right. Like, I don't know if it's because Gen Z has matured to the point where these things actually bother us now, and like we are thinking, okay, in the next 8 years, like our lives could be determined by the course of this election. But yeah, people were fighting, and people were
No, but actually, it's bothering us now. You see, the country is crazy, man. How much for $1 now, for pound, like, it's crazy. But the thing is, I feel like, not I feel, what I noticed was anybody who does not support Peter Obi
It's officially not
is a dunce.
a
Dunce!
major problem. And I'm not going to say much on that.
Yeah.
It's just like we say we're practicing democracy,
Yeah.
but there's nothing about democracy because
Thank
if
you.
are not supporting
Thank
a
you.
particular party, everybody say, oh, so just let people support that people in peace.
Thank you. Perfectly said. Perfect. Andy, why you smile?
I'm just saying, this is not like the whole like an election
Yeah.
trying to determine who heads us, who leads us, and
Yeah.
everything. It's something that affects everybody. Your decision would affect my life.
True.
My decision would affect your life. So
Yeah.
if I feel like your decision is in any way like a threat to my well-being, I feel like I don't know. It just makes me sensitive. Like, what are you saying? If you do this, I'll be hurt. That's why if it was something that wouldn't affect me, if it was a case where, let's say, for example, you vote Tinubu and I vote Peter Obi, right? And then when the results are out, maybe Tinubu gets to rule you and lead you, and Obi gets to rule me and lead you. Then I wouldn't even care what you like. But your decision affects my life. Like, if you make the wrong decision, it's going to affect me. So that's why I'm sensitive. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying it's really sensitive and it's hard to ignore.
Yeah,
But-
but I understand the sensitive part. But my problem is,
Please, just carry on. Carry on.
I understand the sensitive part. But my problem is when you get to a point. Yeah, I'm sorry, but when I understand the sensitive part, right? But my problem is when you get to a point where you allow your emotions to start overriding what you should actually do, then there's a problem. That means you bridge the gap between thinking, you stop thinking, and you just started acting on emotions.
Yeah, true.
People are entitled to the human right of being able to of free speech. Like it's a human right. It's not something you're supposed to infringe upon. So if the fact that I want to support a candidate that is different from you offends you to the point that you start bullying me online or in person, then there's no difference between you and the guy that carries stones.
Period.
Exactly.
Like we're both infringing on human rights. It's wrong.
I want to even say that because okay, what is right in your opinion isn't right to someone. That's why we all have like different opinions. Like maybe your candidate is this particular person. Someone else is candidate is this particular person. It doesn't matter if one particular person is benefiting from it. Point is that is the person's choice and it should not matter to you. All you should do is campaign for your candidate. And
Yeah.
It matters to me. You can say I should campaign for my candidate, but
Yeah.
it does matter to me. It matters to me actually.
But democracy, wait first. Democracy is my vote. The contestants came, okay, three of them, Tinubu, Atiku and Peter Obi. I assessed them personally, and I was like, okay, Nigeria is going through this, and I feel like this is the best person for my own vote. But the point where you're like, guy, your vote is my life. That's emotional, man. And democracy is not emotional.
Like you must do this. I can't force you, obviously. I can't follow you to your polling unit and force you to vote. But I feel like most of the time, people that actually go to the extreme to try to convince other people, you mostly find out that they are trying to they're trying to cast their votes on ethnic basis or religious basis. They're just thinking, oh, this person is from my tribe. I'm Steve and this person is Steve. So let's go. Or oh, this person is a Christian and I'm a Christian. Let's go. They are not trying to assess if this person actually fits to do the job most of the time. But like you said, we shouldn't allow our emotions to override our action.
Valid. But then you can never influence people or change an individual's perspective or their train of thought by castigating them.
No, we don't castigate them, but if
Guys, did you see Twitter? Did you see this?
if we've tried to convince you and you say you don't want, then you've chosen your side, then fuck off, basically, please.
I wish it was that easy.
I wish it was like that's you. But I've seen a lot of people get bullied on Twitter
Yeah.
because they decided to follow Tinubu.
Yeah.
People decided to follow Atiku and then they get bullied. Okay, maybe not Atiku as much,
Yeah, but I know Tinubu
Tinubu,
was
yeah,
a
definitely.
lot.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot.
why you're supporting you're an enemy of Nigeria.
I'm telling you,
You are actually, in my opinion.
They're like,
I think they deserve it.
they deserve.
You see, this is my problem.
Wait, how do you deserve? Wait, I'll come. How do they deserve it, please? No. What? Be free. No, be free. How do they deserve it, please?
What is there to vote? Like, why would you want to? Like, what is there? You don't even have a reason to actually want to vote for this person. Like, tell me the reason why you're voting for this person. What is there to? Okay, even if some people assume that this person, although I don't really know a lot about him, but then the point is right now he's clearly unfit. This man is literally, you can see from like the interviews he's having, the kind of things he says, like. It's fine if you say, this man did this or did that in the past. Oh, he really did a good job. That's fine. But right now, is he in that position anymore? You can see it. It's clear. I don't know, except you're just trying to be blind or ignore it. You know he's just not fit right now. But for you to still insist that you want, I don't know, a sick person to actually lead us, people that are sane, you want somebody that is sick. Like, how does that make any sense?
I have a question. Why did you? Okay, what do you think is wrong with Nigeria right now? Like one thing that you feel like a lot of us are suffering from here. What's wrong with Nigeria?
The question is for everyone, right? Because I'm trying to think.
Yeah, still
Bad
thinking.
leadership.
Bad leadership.
is everything we are talking about right now. Because the people that are in power, they don't give a shit about the common man. If you are not related to them or what have you, you don't mean anything. Because from this whole thing, you can tell that one of the reasons why Nigeria is the way it is full of bad leadership. I don't want to mention the name of the president.
No, don't mention anybody.
So we're talking about. So
Yeah.
we're in position because of him. Because we all we all saw that this man was very unfit to rule a country. It is not easy. Obviously, it's not easy. but you are sick and you are still trying to run for position. Why? Okay, you ran for it, you won 4 years, good.
Mhm.
Why did you come back? Like, what was the reason? You still
Okay.
came back.
Okay, I get your point.
Okay, before I answer your question,
Yeah.
the bad leadership thing. Where do leaders come from?
You see, that's the thing. Do you know why it's like that? Because people, this thing is a starts as a while the problems of ourselves. We are the problems of ourselves.
I swear.
I don't see as
First of all, these leaders in question, they are the ones that will go around to buy votes. Let's not talk about the electoral pattern, the electoral commission itself. They just do their own and then they rig for them. But like that's aside. You see leaders going to buy votes. Okay, why are you buying votes? Like if people obviously don't want you in position, why try to force yourself there? So you have to go the extra mile, you have to go and buy votes, you have to pay the
But don't forget people accept that
electoral
money as well.
yeah, they accept it because they have no option. You can't
And
tell
the
a
electoral
poor
chairman
person.
accepts it as
You
well.
can't tell a poor person, okay, if they are offering a poor person money, they refuse.
Exactly.
Leaders have put them in that position to want to actually accept it. They did that to them, basically. They do not, like, they try to see them poor. If they are the ones making them poor, they are not giving them what they deserve. So they put them in that position to accept their advances. It's hard.
Are the ones making the people poor.
Yes, because they don't do what they are supposed to do economically for us. They don't do it. Infrastructure.
If we're going to do economically, how many people do you feel are doing good? If you want to use the United States for instance now,
Exactly.
how many people do you, because they just sit there, you walk, they look good, like
It's not even about, like, even if you are talking about this thing, you should
Yeah.
still consider security.
Mm.
Do you know the reason why other countries might flourish the way it is? Because they don't have this insecurity problem that we have. You can't come to, like, there are some places now that you cannot work 24 hours a day. Obviously, you're scared for your life. Nobody come in the middle of the night and kill you. Nigeria, the government will not give a shit. Nobody's going to investigate. They're not going to die.
yeah, that's the
Death
problem.
for
I feel like
Nigeria
that's
is
the problem.
pointless.
Yeah.
So it is like
I feel like you have to put yourself in the shoes of the people that should defend your votes. I mean, if they come to me and say, okay, you have to do this, help me at gunpoint, you have to do this. If not, this. Why should I die for Nigeria if I am very certain that they will not investigate my deaths? If I go, I've gone. Like it's not. It's just one day my guy will just notice that I'm not picking his call again, and I've not seen him for 1 year. That's when you know that okay.
yes, and then the thing is that it's only people that are close to you that will know you. Okay, maybe people online just oh hi.
He said that
So
justice
what
was.
is what are you guys actually doing about it? Okay, just from you're shouting from Lagos and person is in Abuja. What are you doing?
They are fighting justice now.
Okay, see, I agree, right? Bad leadership is a problem. But the reason I asked the question is, I also believe Abraham Lincoln was the one that said democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. I hope I got that quote correctly.
Yeah.
Right? So, government, any truly elected government that has passed through a democratic process is an actual representation of the general mores of the people. So let me give you an example. We live in a country now where there are people that can afford to pay taxes but choose not to pay taxes. What's the difference between that individual and someone who is a government official and steals from government? But that same individual will get up and question the government and say, oh, these people are stealing from us. They're stealing from the government too.
Do you know why? Because
Let me finish. Now, there are also people that can pay their electricity bill and choose not to pay their electricity bill. They bypass life on the basis of the fact that
It's like she's guilty for that one.
on the basis of the fact that they don't get lights all the time. I agree with you, yes, and that's a bad thing. That's a problem we should solve. But you should also understand that if you do the wrong thing, it does not morally justify you. It does not put you in a justified position for you to question a leader who is doing the exact same thing. If I steal from someone that I am working under, and you steal from the government, there is no difference between me and you. We are the same. So before we go out and we attack our leaders, and I admit they are bad, right? And they have done terrible jobs. But before we do that, we also have to understand that the problem rests with us. We are part of that problem.
Wait first, before you call your leader bad in one sense, don't you believe that in order for them to have reached where they are now, somewhere like Tinubu, because during this election, it was obvious that the president was not with him. Like the North side, they would not really back him, but
Was the
with
president really not with him?
yeah.
Was the president really not
It
with
wasn't.
him?
I don't think it
Uh,
wasn't.
I mean, politics is a very interesting game. We don't know what's going on.
I know, and exactly that.
We don't know what's going on.
But personally, I really don't feel like personally was different.
Because there are
Because
so
if you
many.
had looked at the things that led up to this situation, I think you would also.
Because there were so many policies that His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari made that Tinubu did not agree with. Like that was there.
Just trying to put that out.
That out to the
Exactly.
public, because looking at the way it ended up playing out, that was, if he truly wasn't with him, this is not the result we would have gotten. Especially security wise during the elections. I feel like that was the biggest deceit. Security during these elections. It was
That's my point. That like Barry probably had his own at heart because you really don't know what a person wants, or during the game of power, you don't know the end game for another person. So Buhari could have said, okay, yes, I support you publicly, but you don't know what he was doing inside. You don't know whether he was gingering the other northern governors to side his brother, let me put it like that, because Muslims are big on that, very, very big on that. So my point is, for Tinubu to have reached the point where he reached today, do you believe that what he did, will I call it wrong, but would you believe that, yes, you would term his actions as wrong? Because not everybody can be leaders. The leaders in the society have to do what Tinubu, that you people are killing or you people are slandering.
I'm sorry. Question. Are you trying to say,
In
for
order to
Tinubu-
be a leader
yeah,
in a society,
yeah,
you have to be fair. Let me put it like that.
okay,
Because you are, if I want to use an example now, Trump will not be where he was if he did not take some kind crazy decisions. Let me put
True.
it like that. But because of so many people are asking moralist questions, oh, is this bad? Is this good? What's the word? We are still so stuck on the action. But to be a leader, you have to do all these things. There's no president or there's no governor that his actions may not have a bad effect.
true.
Like the reason most people are slandering Sanwo-Olu's name is because he wants to build an airport in VI also. So in order for him to have done that, he took down all the shops that were in that radius, and put it like
Yeah.
that. So now people are not telling me he's a bad man, he did this, he did that. But he's building an airport. And that airport will actually benefit people that are in VI. Because there are so many people that still complain that I land at Lagos, then for me to get to VI, I have to pay this amount. But that's helping your society.
Okay, I don't know about this story, but I think as a leader, there are also ways to do things.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems people have with Tinubu
Yeah.
is their lack of empathy.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're going to clear down shops, no problem, right? You can do that. But then you can also find a way to help those people. You can also find a way to say, okay, we're going to relocate your shops to this place, or we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to sell. Do you understand? Like, there are nicer ways.
You know the thing about Nigerians? You make a rule,
Yeah.
they break the rule, you give them the penalty, and they will shout at you. I am very sure Sanwo-Olu did not just go one day and say, break down all these shops.
Can you verify?
It could actually be the way these our leaders move. It could actually be that they wouldn't even compensate you, or let's even say you have a shop that, let's say, everything it's like worth #1,000,000, and then they say, okay, they want to use this place, and then they say they'll give you 10,000 naira. That's what they'll probably even do. Like the way they move, there is nothing impossible. As long as they just do things without any empathy, they don't really care. They just do their things. They don't care because they feel like there is no repercussions for it. Basically,
As the thing does, Sanwo-Olu look like that type of man, because you would always know that type of man that is fierce and
I mean,
always.
from this story you've given me,
Yes.
you've not been able to verify to me that he actually made an effort
Yeah.
to actually talk to these people. So now my impression of him is that he lacks empathy.
He is somebody that during COVID-19 was the only governor that was giving frequent reports. I can.
He's also the only person, at least during that NSAS movement.
Yeah.
Most people bring that up a lot. Now people say, "Oh, he said people didn't die at the toll gates."
But that was
That's
beyond,
also
that's beyond him. That's what gets on is beyond him.
True, but then people see that as a lack of empathy.
Exactly.
You know when just now you explained that a leader has to be firm,
Yes.
right? I don't want my governor
Mm.
or the person that is representing me to look like he cannot speak for himself.
Okay, thank you.
But he cannot
That's-
anyway.
Sanwo-Olu.
In the hands of Tinubu, he's a puppet.
Everybody is a puppet. Everybody is a, I would, everybody is a
Everybody's a
puppet.
puppet, so
I'm telling you, everybody is a puppet.
it depends on who you answer to.
The husband can be a puppet to the wife. I'm telling
No,
on
but
God.
At least take responsibility.
Of-
He didn't
So-
actually like when that whole thing came out. He didn't really even put. I think he just came on and then he said, "Oh, nobody died there." Like they did an investigation. They were doing their own collecting blood here, collecting blood here. And
No,
so
that one is
nobody
just a
died.
nonsense, farce. I mean, nonsense.
And even when he was asked if people were going to be persecuted for everything that happened, he said he wasn't sure. He said he wasn't sure. How can you even say you're not sure? Like, maybe he should have just lied that he's sure. But to people that were hurt, how would you say you're not sure that this thing happened to you? And no, it's not fair. It's very unfair.
In his shoes. Presido will call you. Alpha, I'm sending some things to toll gate. What will you do?
I really don't know what I'll do, but
That's a very hard spot to put yourself inside.
but
That's
that's
your
aside.
organ.
Yeah. But then I think one of the things that made people mad again is him going out to say that nobody died there. That was very. It just wasn't right. How would you say that nobody died? People were there and they've said people died, and you go out to say that nobody died. And maybe we would have understood to an extent. I mean, the president is the grand commander. Anything he says goes. But he was just moving in a shady way, basically. So
I call you. I was worried. I saw the shooting.
That was
Go and tell my people that nobody died. What will you do?
I don't think I wouldn't do that. But people died. Why would I say people did not die? It's because he's in a position. I don't know who called him, but already he's in a position where he shouldn't even be there in the front. He's just a puppet, basically. If he was there, like, on his own accord, like, if he was there, I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to make. But if he didn't have somebody he always answers to, if he was, like, a person of his own, he was really leading, he's really leading the states he's heading, then I don't even think that would happen.
Well, you see the thing.
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
You see the thing. When he entered office, everybody knows he did not enter democratic way. Let me put it like this for the people. Let me put it like, there were connections that were made. Let me put it like that. So you cannot really act the way you would want to. It's just the same way Buhari, we all know the story. He went to Tinubu when he ran, and all of a sudden our president is Buhari. You get? It's just the same way. If you did not enter,
They actually have benefit. Thank you.
so if you do not enter power yourself, if you do not enter power by your rules or by your gameplay, let me put it like that, you cannot act the way you would normally act. So Sanwo-Olu could have been like, "Sir, so many people died," because that's a lot. People act like you can sleep well. You can't sleep well.
That's why I said he shouldn't even be there in the first place. But at the same time, if he had tried to be honest about it, we discovered people die, what that would have probably cost him was maybe, I think he would have been scared that he probably wouldn't get endorsed like the second, he wouldn't be voted in the primaries to run the second time since he has gone again his masters. But I think somebody that's empathic and that really cares about the people wouldn't even put that in front of them. In that situation, he'll probably just let it go. And it's because he didn't believe that maybe people, if he does that and his masters throw him away, people will not be able to bring him back. So that's why he just took that route and, like, didn't care about the people, basically.
Okay, I agree, right? What he did was wrong. If people died, you should have come out to acknowledge that people died. Right? Now, you said the first question he posed was, if Buhari says, I'm sending some things to toll gates, um, tell, just go along with it. You said you don't know what you have done, right? That was your response. Now, the second one, you said you would have decided not to, go and lie. But it's easy for you to say that when you're not in the seat.
I'm telling you.
It's easy.
Right, so it's easy for all of us to sit down here and judge him and judge his action. Like, we can say it's wrong.
Yeah.
From an objective standpoint, it is wrong, I agree. But it's easy for all of us to sit down here because we don't have the pressure.
But thinking about it, what's the point in lying that people died or did not die? What's the point? What's the end of it? I mean, people died.
True, I agree. But nobody knows the amount of pressure they put on him. Now, I'm not saying the president blackmailed him.
Nobody's saying that.
Yeah, exactly, or whatever. But we don't know the instructions he was giving. We don't know the amount of pressure he was under. So I'm not sure we are in a justifiable position, or we are justified in trying to judge his action. I mean, we can look at it and say, yes, it was wrong, and then we can decide not to go through. But it's a difficult thing for us to sit down here when we are not the governor, when we have not, received that call from the president. We don't know if he has been threatened. We don't know if his family has been threatened.
Exactly.
But then the job is the job.
Well, you see another. You see another. You see another.
And that's why you need someone that is firm.
Exactly.
And that's why we vote him out.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
we also can't judge him.
But there was another thing she said. She was like, if the president calls, then he should just he should quit or so. Was that not what she
No, I'm
said?
not saying
That if he had
like,
empathy or so.
like I think
What would have I didn't even imagine that they would threaten his family or anything. My own point was okay, his second tenure was on my own point was that his second tenure was probably on the line. Like, okay, if you don't do it like this, you just know that you can't be governor second term. That's probably what was, I don't know, I'm just assuming. But if that was the case, then I mean, it doesn't make any sense because people died. That day was tragic for everybody. Like, everybody was hurt. Everybody was, it wasn't a good day at all. So,
But you see, when that thing happened, it made me remember what I told my guys. I was like, if you want Nigeria to change, a lot of it's going to be hectic. It's going to be very, very hectic because there are a lot of things that we do wrong, and when we correct those wrongs, it will not be like, oh, you're actually doing evil. Because if you go around Benin City now, me and my guy went out today, so we noticed that some houses are on the road. We noticed that some houses were on the road. So if you have a competent governor and he says one day, I want to shift those houses, I want to break the fence, like take it back, a lot of people will criticize that governor and say he's not empathetic, he's not this. But he's doing the right thing.
I think I think that has happened somewhere. I lived at some time. People were sad, but I guess that was the right thing to do. Although people were hurt, but that was the right thing to
But why are
do.
you building your house?
But then again, I don't know. It's probably the way the lands were being sold. Like how, I don't really know how that works, but it's probably from when they got the land, how it was measured and everything. Like the demarcations weren't really specific at that time, so they probably didn't even know themselves that that's how it's marked.
Do you
So
think that there are some people that know but still do it?
yeah, there are people that know.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Sorry,
After
man.
a long break. Before we left, we were talking about Sanwo-Olu, and you were saying something about if he did not stand for, because we gave an illustration where like if Buhari called you and said, oh, you do this, and you were like, if he did not stand for what his Oga say you should do, then you should have said no, or you should have left it. You should have not lied, basically, you should have stood for what was right. So, would you feel, because during this whole election period, people were really aggressive on Twitter. I think I'll give you two scenarios. There was a man, his wife was supporting Asiwaju. So the man publicly came out and said, oh, Mo, that's my wife, oh, that's not me. Anything she has to do, that's her. Me, Peter, I'll be that kind of idea. And there was another guy, why are you laughing at? For real, there was another guy that he posted a picture of Asiwaju. You know those pictures that are like, okay, yes, it will soon come, and people were bashing like these guys. Would you feel like the world is creating weaker men? That's my question. No, OJ, let's start from you.
Do I feel like the world is creating weaker men based
Yeah.
off of those two?
Yeah, those three, because she said if Sanwo-Olu
Yeah.
knew, okay, because
Yeah.
people actually died, so you should have, if you
No,
wanted to
she's
stand
right.
for something, yeah.
She's
So
right.
those
She should
three,
understand that.
yeah, those three. Do you feel like the world is creating weaker men?
I wouldn't say the world is creating weaker men. I would say weaker men are more publicized, right? Like 100 years ago, you didn't have social media,
Yeah.
right? So you could be within a community, for example, and then the people that you had as leaders, quote unquote, would be the definition of strong,
Yeah.
right? Or the people that were in the public view,
Yeah.
or whatever, you could say they were strong or whatever. Now, if you're in another place, right, like let's say a different country, you would not know, you would not be aware about of the weak men that were in that separate location. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, not really.
Okay, so I don't believe the world is creating weaker men. I just think weaker men are more publicized, right? Because social media is there. It's like now that there's social media, more people are now attuned to the fact that what these people are saying is going to spread around rapidly. 100 years ago, we didn't have social media. So if all of us were in this place now, we have no knowledge of what was going on outside. So if everyone in this room was strong, you get your definition will be all the men in the world are strong.
Yeah.
But now that there's social media, the guys that are outside, you can see them and then you can define them as weak.
No, but
Do you get what I mean?
during that, yes, there was no social media, but you could see the way it was. I don't know if you've watched Shaft or so. So it's a, don't worry, I'll explain it. So there are three guys. There's the grandpa, there's the son, and one other person. There's a scene in the movie that the grandpa, who is not a millennial, tells the son that, okay, you see, things are actually changing. Like before, you could what's the word now? Things like you posting what you stand for and what you believe in. If people attacked you, you could like stand up and be like, what the fuck? That's what I believe in.
Yeah.
But now people are deleting it. Like, as a man or as a person in general, I firmly believe that whatever you say, you should stand by it so far you believe it. But now it's like people are just, if they come and attack me, if I support Asiwaju now, people find out and they attack, I'm deleting my tweet. All of a sudden you don't believe in it again, that kind of thing.
But what if it's not necessarily fair? I don't know, maybe I support a particular candidate and I come and I publicize it and people see it and then there are hate comments. It's there. But then there are reasons and there are still people that are saying, oh, you shouldn't do this. This person did this. I don't see why you should support that person. This person is like this. Look at this other person. He's this way. He's better. You get? What if I go through those comments, I see the hate, but then I see what people are saying about the person and the other person, and then I go and do like a deeper research. And then I find out, oh, this person is actually not the best choice. Do you understand my point? This person is actually not the best choice. Maybe the other person is better. Then I come and delete it. Not necessarily fair, but because I've learned. Do you understand my point? Like, I've just learned that it's not really like this. So it could still be from that angle.
It was that they believed this and then they were just doing this.
Like if you get new information and you change your position, that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You should always be.
Yeah, but I'm saying that could be the reason why people delete.
But he deleted and he came back and was like, okay, sorry, that's my candidate, sorry. Yeah, that kind of.
It's funny about that in that situation. That man. There's something wrong somewhere because you don't come online as a husband and deny your wife and say, oh, whatever you're saying.
Yeah, that was very sad.
He could have, because he should have not even said anything.
Because of politics, is he going to live with you inside your house? Maybe after he has seated down online, he'll go and meet his wife.
I wonder how they settled. I would have loved to be there. I wanted to see
You
how
want to
it
watch
played
it?
out between the both of them.
Especially they haven't settled it. Like we
Yeah,
don't, we
that's-
don't know the
Actually,
dynamics
it's
of their
funny
relationship.
because you don't do
Yeah.
that now. Especially to someone you say you're married to. Okay, it's not like you're married for 1 year or 2 years.
Mm.
But if you have children, you should at least like, what do you mean you're coming and say, oh, don't include my children? That is one of the. It's not just in that shall happen because of a particular party supporters that were trying to bully someone. Because of those
Calm
people.
down.
It was actually because of those things. Like, why are you being so aggressive? Like, there's going to be so aggressive. Like, going to everything she posted that period, they were attacking her. They went as far as like bullying her children. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, there are people who do that.
Party this thing.
I agree. The party should not have. Okay, the people should not have done that. But then that does not affect his actions. Like, if you're a man, that's what he's talking about. That's his explanation. Do you think that making weaker men? You are a man, or you're a person, right? They have attacked you in a certain way. They've attacked your spouse, and then because they have attacked your spouse, you feel the need to come out and join them to attack her.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't. There's no point. The fact that they've attacked her doesn't mean.
If he
you
was
should-
even coming out to say anything, he should have just come and made it clear that people have the right to choose.
Exactly.
That's what he would have said. But coming out to say, and that was surprising. I didn't really
No,
know.
to show you-
What
to show
he
you-
should have done was to support his wife. That is it.
Or no,
It will show you the length that people went for this Peter
Man,
Obi
yes,
person.
I understand.
And you know the
It's
funniest.
just him as a man just not being able to hold the shit.
No, for him to come out and say, "Oh, more, my wife, she believes in her own. I believe in my." It means that
They must,
he went
must
through
be
a
doing
lot.
of comments.
Yes, that type of
But not
stuff.
even whether they're receiving
But then
threats.
again,
Fair enough.
it's not just Peter Obi supporters that bully people online.
Okay.
The others actually bully online and offline. But it's just that they don't have enough.
But it's just that they don't have enough facts. Like if you're in a conversation and you have more facts than the other person or more reason than the other person, you tend to speak more than the other person. So they do not really have any basis for why they are voting their candidate.
Okay,
So
what's
that's
your
why they
basis? Can I
don't
ask? What's your
speak
basis?
in.
Enough.
You must answer. What was your basis? Because I can tell you, you rated Tinubu just by merely looking at him because you're like, oh man, I can't
She
walk
said
my
she doesn't know
sick.
enough. She said she doesn't even know enough about me.
I heard that part like,
Not like I don't know.
A lot about him, right? I know things about him, but I think those things are not so valid given his current state. He did that when he was younger and more healthier. But right now his health is a challenge. So he's sick. What can he do? There's really nothing he can do. Even his speech, he doesn't speak well. So
no, it does not speak bad.
It's
speech
not
has not
about
inspired
him.
me.
It's just
It's
very,
not
it's
about-
slow. Let me put it like that, but it does not speak bad.
His speech has not inspired me.
then he says things that do not make sense. I'm not even talking about his speech as in the kind of grammar he uses, but he says things that do not make any sense, and we can all see it.
So,
No, we can't see it.
oh, you can't see it.
No, I won't say we can't see it.
You can't see it.
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't
Because
know
when
what
people
to
attack the guy like he says nonsense, actually go and listen to the guy.
Sometimes
He says a lot of
Sometimes.
points. Yes,
What's
see,
your basis?
no, see, the problem is a lot of people, a lot of Gen Z. You go somewhere like today, you know, think
Yeah.
I will pause. You pause again. Those long pauses, those pauses that they've lost the Gen Z's attention. They're like, this man is talking nonsense. But really, he is hitting the nail
Okay.
at the
There
head.
are some.
The common one that is trending that we all know. What does that one mean? What does it mean? Okay, so like. okay. So what did he mean when he came to Uniben? He said something about. We said something about Yahoo Boys and plantain chips. Like he'll make them to sell plantain chips. Like what does it mean?
I think
You
that's
also, I mean, okay, wait. Look. No, hold on, right? You can also take a step back, right, and evaluate. Like what he's trying to say is get people that are into fraud or whatever, and get them involved in businesses.
In businesses, why do you have to say plantain chips?
Chips is what? Is saying
No, it's not like he's not.
After the video, he said growing of chips and
No, not that one.
it was what?
he it's not about growing. Basically, he says now they'll start to process and make plantain chips. Like
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
all the Yahoo boys will start to sell plantain chips.
Better to stop fraud and start like.
No, but the point is where we are currently. I'm not saying it's a bad job, but that shouldn't be the target. There are other jobs that are better. Why would you focus on plantain chips? You could say you put them, maybe you set them up in tech or other things. Why? Do you know how many boys do Yahoo? So all of them will start to sell plantain chips.
Some can package
You
the
know-
nylon, some can carry the
You know how many
chips.
people-
Like it's not.
You know how many people currently live in Nigeria? We have a population of roughly around 200 million people.
Yeah.
Now, you could make an argument for the fact that he's trying to boost the food industry. Tech is fantastic. Tech is good. But then you could also make an argument.
No, that's not what he meant. It was no. Don't try to make it look. No, you're trying to package it. You're trying to package it, and that is not what it was. Clearly, you're trying to package it.
No, you see, that's the thing. The way America works. America works as there's job opportunity. Yes, you find job, but it's like a slave mindset. You are constantly working. Yes, there is a lot of opportunity. You are constantly working and receiving, but you are not actually living life. And that's what I think he wants to do with Nigeria. Because if you notice his plan, whenever you ask him what's your plan, it's always agriculture, make the people work. The truth is, if Nigerians like to work, like from inception, so if you give Nigerians job, even if it's paying, let's just say minimum 50 or something, if you can give Nigerians that 50, they know that once I'm graduating, I have an opportunity of getting 50 or around that kind of thing. There's a job. You are going to be happier. Because people always feel like majority of people want to be at the top. Majority of people don't want to be at the top. Majority of people don't want to work in your tech. Majority of people don't want to be CEOs. Majority of people are happy just planting chips, like just plucking it so far they can see money.
Yeah, or if okay, now
These people that are into internet fraud and all of that, a lot of them are graduates. So if you would say that if your solution to unemployment of graduates that are now into fraud is that they should actually go and start selling plantain chips, like how does that even sound?
No, see, you don't look at it as you are selling plantain chips. It's not like that's like looking at it from the top. You are looking at it from the bottom.
Gone to school and studied and studied. No, I'm not saying it's I'm not trying to say that it's completely wrong that they are stealing, but you should do. These people are graduates, for God's sake. You should do better, offer better solutions. Okay, what's the point of them going to school if they are now coming out to sell? They would have just stayed at home in the first place and started right from that point.
Agreed. I understand.
I feel like he should have preferred a better solution to saying that.
No, I get what you're saying. But what I am saying is selling plantain chips is first thing, you're looking at it, like you said, to me, looks as if you're examining it from surface level. And one, it is actually improvement. If you're going to, there's nothing, stealing is not a good thing.
yeah.
Can we agree on that?
Of course,
Stealing is not a good thing. So if you move from stealing to legitimate business, you have made progress.
You have made progress, but I don't think that's a. I don't know how to put it, but
that's desirable.
maybe. My point is, can we move on from plantain chips?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay, no. Hold on. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's okay. It's better to sell plantain chips. Of course, it's better to sell plantain chips than to be a fraudster. That is better. But okay, I still don't think it made sense. He should have said something else. And then let's leave that. Okay, what will you now say about the fact that he said he's going to recruit the youth, into the army? 50 million of us into the army. And what's the...
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry, I haven't.
But North Korea is a very tough country, man. There are a lot of rules, but I don't want to use Nigeria and North Korea together. That was sad.
He didn't say, but that's like, okay, you're interviewing somebody that wants to leave a country. What is your solution to unemployment? And then the first thing you say is you recruit 50 million youths into the army. Not agriculture, into the army. 50 million youths into the army. He would recruit them. And you've not seen the video. Have you seen the video?
But okay, let's examine.
What's the bad? What's bad with that?
Let's examine it. What's wrong with that?
Why would that be your solution to unemployment?
No, that's security. That's security.
50 million.
No, but she's
Yeah,
talking about
unemployment is still there.
unemployment.
Yes.
From the unemployment
50
aspect.
million of us
Yes.
into the army.
So
The number is outrageous. I agree. That's a huge number. 50 million. But then, as a solution to unemployment, right? If the army takes an individual in, right, and he reforms the system, that's,
But why
they take care
can't
of,
he? Why
they
can't
take
he?
care of your family,
Why
right?
can't you think of better? There are better things to do. Why
Because
do you
you're
have
killing two birds with one stone. You're tackling insecurity, and you're also tackling.
No,
unemployment.
it doesn't make any sense to me personally.
it doesn't have to make sense to you, sister.
No, she should be able to understand. She has the right to understand.
My point is
for you make sense to me.
See, it's not every my own is that it's not every point that will make sense to you because you have your own beliefs. Like you have the way you see things. So there are.
You know this thing, let's just keep in mind that Annie already cancelled it in her mind.
I'm telling you, she has cancelled
Every single
it.
thing that he's going to say is going to sound like a trigger.
No, I wouldn't even say that I've cancelled him. If he says things that are actually reasonable, then I wouldn't even speak about them. I wouldn't come and start trying to paint something white. He says black. I'll leave those ones. But then I've not even really listened to him saying anything reasonable. Okay, even the chance he had to actually say something reasonable at the interview at the Chatham House.
He didn't say anything.
Okay, what did
When
Peter
they
Obi
asked him
say?
questions,
He said a lot.
That right there is our point.
What did he say?
He actually, the questions that he asked him, he actually answered them properly. Although I cannot.
You remember blah blah blue. You remember 50 million army. You remember plantain chips. You can't remember one Peter Obi anything.
No. But
Sometimes, like on Twitter, they're always trying to highlight this guy.
No, it's obvious.
No, they always try to highlight him in a bad light, basically because it's mostly Gen Z that is running Twitter. So you know,
I'm telling you.
so you know, like every bad thing that this man will do, it's always going to be on Twitter, and you always see 1,000 comments. Okay, this is it.
But then even when Peter Obi gives like a very good interview, he also trends
Because Gen Z runs Twitter and Gen Z are behind.
Gen Z runs social media.
stuff that makes sense, and he responds to, okay, please, you guys call me short, but when he went to the Chatham House, the other man, when he went there, they asked him questions. First off, the first thing I noticed was that when they were asking him questions,
You're referring to Tinubu, when Tinubu went to.
yes, when they were asking him questions, he wasn't. It was a situation of like, they weren't taking the questions one after the other. It was like 3 persons who ask, then you answer. That's how they did it, basically. So, and the questions were quite lengthy, actually, because people that were able to ask, a lot of them jotted what they needed to ask down. So, what was supposed to happen was that while they're asking you the questions, you're supposed to like jot the points. Like as a receiver, you're supposed to jot the points. Okay, these are the questions I have. But while they were asking questions, he wasn't even jotting anything. He was just seated. I was surprised because even me personally, I'm young. I wouldn't remember all these things these persons are saying. Not to talk of you. So he wasn't even jotting anything. That he was just seated, like they were asking. I was like, this man, he has retentive memory because I won't take remember all these things. So after they asked him the questions, when they were done, I was like, okay, this has to be interesting. Like, what would this man respond to these things? Like, how would he recall these questions? And then someone stood up. I don't recall who, but I don't remember who, but someone stood up and just gave one of his people there stood up and gave him a sheet of paper. I don't know what they wrote basically. I think what they wrote was that he should give the questions out to some of them. Like, okay, they asked him this. They said, okay, El Rufai will answer. They asked him that. That's what they told him to do. So How does that? You going there, you're supposed to tell us your plans. But then they asked him questions, and then he wasn't jotting. He didn't care about the questions. Then his people gave him a paper. Say that Erufai will answer this one. Say that John will answer that one. Say that. How does it make any sense? We wanted to hear him speak.
To be a good leader, yes, people wanted to hear him speak.
Yes.
But to be a good leader, you should be able to delegate.
No.
True.
You should.
No.
But then
Not
you,
that.
she has a point as well.
That's a
But
different-
what if the
that's
question they
different.
ask is what Erufai should answer?
Like, he did not even know the questions. That's the point. Because the questions were long and he didn't even take note of them. I can swear he did not really know all those questions. Why did they have to jot it down for our leader to look in the paper and see what to do? He didn't make the decision. They did.
One, I agree with you. He should have spoken, right? There should have been time when he, at a point, he should have actually addressed us.
Yeah.
But then another thing is, you don't know what was on that paper.
Exactly. Like
Can
you
we
could have
agree
you
that
could
you
you
don't
could have
know
a
what was
PA that jotted those questions and
I don't know what
So if we can agree on that, then we can therefore postulate again. We can move forward and say, okay, whatever he did after reading that paper was his own decision. Because we don't know what was on that paper.
Okay, let's be okay. Yeah, we don't know what was in the paper, even though that was most likely what was on the paper. But
Isn't that an assumption?
it's fine. We don't know. You don't have to be told everything, do you?
But isn't that an assumption?
It is, but you don't have to be told everything. Doesn't have to be written in black and white.
Sometimes you just
Agreed. But sometimes black and white can be grey.
yeah. True.
So what if really what was on that paper? And this is just another scenario.
Okay, even if you take that aside, even if he there was no paper given to him, that doesn't take away the fact that he did not respond to any questions. There, he did not.
But then you cannot draw the line and say the fact that he delegated makes him a bad leader. It doesn't. You could have just been in a situation where they gave him the paper, he saw the questions that were in the paper. Both of us, we don't know what was on that paper. It's possible what you're saying is true. They wrote it down for him that he should tell this person. It's also possible that they wrote this question. Now, if it was the latter that they wrote the questions, then him delegating is just him being a smart leader.
But the
But
point
we should
of
have addressed.
the point of him going there is for him to actually speak. What will you, not what will you do? What will you do? They were asking him those questions, not the other person's.
Isn't that subjective? That's it. The point of him going there was for him to show us his plans, not necessarily for him to speak. Now, if you have a team, right, that team is under you. If the question is on economic policy, and this person is going to function as the economic minister, and you delegate it to that person, that by extension is what you will do.
He should also have an idea of what they are going to do. Maybe he should have nobody was saying he should say everything. Like he should have just given us the basics that he knew, not having to delegate to them. He should know. He should have an idea of what's going on. So that's what he would have said.
Exactly.
But if he doesn't speak, how am I supposed to know he knows?
That's what I agree with.
He doesn't speak. How will I know you know it if you don't say it?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You should have said.
All you
You should
Gen Z,
have
we just see a man that barely
Are you not
talks.
Gen Z? Who is all this Gen Z? Who is all this Gen Z?
Well,
Are you not
okay.
Gen
We
Z?
are anachronistic man. From a different age. From a different time.
well, like I was saying, most Gen Z, you just see, yeah, most of us, let me not even deny ourselves, we just see the man, we just see he's walking old, he's looking sick, let me put it like that. But that's a very, I won't say he's a good leader, but he's a visionary person. Because this plan did not happen this year. This plan happened since.
What
Nine-
plan?
This plan to be president.
Okay.
The plan, it started off with when he was with MKO. He was with MKO when he was running for presidency. I don't know what year. That was like one of the
ran in 93.
most
Yeah.
that was one of the most free and fair election ever. What happened was afterwards they imprisoned MKO and they killed him. So that's what got this whole I want to be president, because they killed his own like number one. Let me put it like that. Then again, if you want to, you spoke about this vote my people tribalism. That's another problem in Nigeria. Let me put it like that. But how would you say we tackle that? Because that's what is actually stopping majority of people. Like if you look at sorry, Lagos, that they want to do their election. Everybody's always like, the governor is Igbo, he can't run in the Lagos state. That kind of thing. So he said that they found one. Like when I saw that is a no, that architect of Lagos. No, when I saw it, I was like, okay.
There was one picture.
Took of him on Arise News, like when he did, and oh my god, that picture.
Oh yes, I saw that picture.
They should just give him for that picture.
I was like, okay, it's fair. But how do you feel like we should tackle that problem in Nigeria?
I think we should share.
No, we are not starting from middle. Sorry, love. Oh, OJ, you started last time. You.
I've been speaking. What we should do about tribalism? To be honest, I don't even know. I don't know, because how do you take it away? Except you just, even like it's just. Yeah, that is one. That's like a very big problem actually. If there was one thing I would even say I would maybe change, I think I don't know, just blur all the tribal lines. Like we should just be Nigeria. Nobody is from anywhere. We should just be Nigerians. I think that would help us think better, because everybody's always thinking my person, my person. You'd see something that is good, but because it's not your person, you don't want it, and you go ahead and pick your person that's actually not a good choice. So I think a lot of bad political leaders that have come in place, it happened due to tribalism. People don't want to see beyond the tribal lines. Once their person is there, my person, just go, just take over.
Because we put so many people in seats that we don't even know. Like Benin, for instance.
The thing is that, so
Like, people just say, man, it was LP, man. I just boom. Do you know the guy? I don't.
it was not even.
That thing confused.
Annie, did you know the guy?
The point
Is that let me say something. If let's say where I stay now, let's say where I stay in Ekosodin, right? And the local government chairman or something, or the person in the House of Assembly was working, right? I could see it, like the person was really working. People will talk about it, actually. People.
You don't really hear people talk about beavers, though. Beavers. That was like a next step to a democratic election, but you don't hear Gen Z say, "Oh yeah, we passed the beavers bill."
No, what I'm trying to say is basically like all the leaders that are elected, if they were actually working, let's say like the local government chairman, if you're actually working, like let's say where I stay, the road is fixed and things are actually happening, I want to know who is this person? Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying. I understand. But I'm telling you that, like recently, I traveled from Lagos to Benin. That road is sweet. Like that road, it's only when we reach Benin that we started seeing checkpoints, small.
Bumps and stuff.
Yes. But from Lagos, that Shagamu road down, that's good. But do you hear that on Twitter?
no, is it a state or federal government?
That should be federal. It's
now.
between state lines, so it should be federal.
I don't know, Sha, but the point I'm trying to make is that no. I understand what. No. I'm not. If they do something good, of course, well done. Like, of course, if, for example, where I live, the road gets starred and everything, and I find out that the local government chairman did this or did that,
Do you try to find out if it's
because nothing is done. Actually, nothing is done.
There are things that I've done. I just told you that the road is good. Everything is good. Like from Lagos, Ibadan, that road down to Benin is. But you don't go on Twitter. You don't see on Twitter.
I didn't see it. I wouldn't know.
That's my
But
point.
For
You're like, you will re-elect somebody who you see is
Yes,
working.
who I see is
These guys are working, but you
Some
don't
of
see
these
on.
guys,
Yes, let me not say everybody. Some of these guys are working, but you don't see them. You just.
Asked if it was a federal or state road. So if it was federal, of course, I'm nothing concerned me with the current federal government. Anything they want to do, they should do it that one day. So if it was state, I would have said, maybe if I knew the person, maybe I would have voted for the person or something. The person that. I don't have a business with the current federal government now. Because
Because what?
I don't have business here, basically.
but if I had known that, okay, there was somebody, there was.
No, but actually, just.
Let's just stay on this lane. if I had known, if I knew somebody that was actually working, then I would have voted the person. But I'm not seeing anything done. The place where I stay.
My point, but you don't see it.
Then
Beavers is the first step. You've at least thank God the bill came out somehow. It's not like it was in somebody's house.
I think bad news travels faster than good news.
She's like she would reappoint people that are working. My point is there are people who are working but they are
But
still
nobody's
going.
going to see them.
Yes.
But that's always that's part of the game. Do you understand? That's why you must cut attention at all costs. Like, it's part of the game of
See,
power.
our own argument was, we were saying you put people you don't know in power.
Yeah.
Our own was we put LP because we are not seeing APC or PDP work. But I'm saying that there are people in APC and PDP that are working. But people just, yes, that they don't know.
I guess they are probably doing the barest minimum. But personally, even before, they are doing the barest minimum. But personally, even before the elections, I actually went online and I checked. I actually went online and I checked like the profile of the people from LP, right? Yeah. And it wasn't so bad. So So I checked their profiles, educational backgrounds, and it wasn't so bad. I don't remember. I didn't really put their names in my head. Yes, but I didn't really put their names in my head. But I did check them, actually. You can check my browsing history. It's there. It's something I saw, and it's not something I'm trying to, like, save in my head, but I saw it, and it didn't look bad. If you check what? You can check my browsing history. Seriously, I'm not...
I trust your word. I'm just telling you, if I check something out and I fuck with a person, let's say I'm for this candidate now, I check Obi, I check Tinubu, I check Atiku. If I fuck with you, there's no way, at least I won't know I won't register your name. So for LP now that you've checked, you say you've checked their history, whatever.
I didn't really bother to, like, I didn't really bother to just register their names. I just wanted, because the initial plan was LP top to bottom. That was it. But I still said, let me just still check them out, or let me still check, like, their educational background and what they've done. So that was for my own conscience. So it wouldn't be an LP top to bottom thing. So I checked.
and it wasn't bad.
And this random man,
But
he won. I don't know where it's from. I'm not seeing his poster. I don't even know. I thought it was one of all those NPP. I mean, one of those. But like, he won.
what's this?
Was it was not here?
That's what happened.
And I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, people actually campaign, and like people that actually have good intention. Like, some people actually have good intention for when they come to the city. But because this party, no.
But sometimes you know the party they are in actually affects the work they
Okay,
do.
so now what makes you think that party?
Sometimes.
Are we voting
Wait,
parties or individuals?
I'm coming. Sometimes. See what you just said.
Sometimes the party they are in actually affects. Someone might go into. It's just like if there's a bad apple, the other apples might tend to get bad. No, sorry, that's the wrong.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know what she's trying to say, Sha,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
she's
yeah.
rotting the other people. Yeah, I get what you're trying to
If
say.
you're in the midst of bad persons, there's a chance that you tend to get
Evil
bad.
communication corrupts
Okay.
good
But
manners.
then
Wait.
when power changes
Wait.
people,
Well-
what is your guarantee now that this person that if I have claimed is also righteous should enter this power now and power will not change him?
But we wouldn't really know until we try.
True, but
We wouldn't really know until we try. And if they don't do well, then next election, someone else gets in there.
And that's
Two things.
yeah.
One,
Okay.
you said when you're in a group, right, you tend to look at the bad person if everyone in that group is bad. First of all, we don't really know if every single person in APC is bad. We just know the people we see. So if you see three
No,
people, for
wait.
example,
We're
let's say
looking
the
at the
leaders.
persons in power now, right?
Okay, I agree. How many people are actually in power?
APC government.
How many people in the APC government are in power? What percent? Like, if you do the mathematics and you take a look at every single person that is in APC, and let's say you actually look at it, let's say 100 people or 200 people are in power now for APC. APC has, again, just a general ballpark, let's just an assumption, maybe 2,000 people. That's 10%. So you are saying 10% of the people determine the other 90%.
Oh yeah, true. Sure.
Assuming,
That's
assuming,
that's
and you,
Pareto though.
and again, another thing is that you don't even know if every single person, that entire 10% is bad. It's just the ones that are in the public view.
That's the ones we can. How do we know? Those are the ones we can see. If all the ones we can see are bad, then what would you assume of the rest? If everything someone shows you is, you get my point.
I get your point.
If everything we can see is bad, so why should we even assume that there's, and even the ones coming out we are seeing they are bad, so why should we assume that something good will come out?
Because it's not correct. You can't factually prove it. That's my point. You can't factually prove it.
Yes, but
the fact that
you have
see
to.
this,
You just have to. You always have to project and use the probability. Probability. Everything that's come out here is bad. What probability that something will come out is low. So you have to use that. Everything in life is not clear. That's why you have to do calculations.
But the calculation for Tinubu was
in the process of calculating, you think, right?
Yes, you think.
So in the process of thinking, if there are new candidates, A, B, C, doesn't it make sense for you to logically evaluate A, B, and C?
There are hardly any new candidates from them actually.
okay. She are trying to say they are recycling.
Okay, let's use this one.
But
that
they are
happened.
recycling.
Let's use Banky W. Let's use Banky W for example. Now, I don't know Banky's pedigree. I don't know what he has done in government before. But to me, he seemed like the candidate that caught attention the most. He
Yes.
seemed like the most competent,
Yes.
right? Logically speaking.
He should have won, period.
Oh,
He
that's
should have. That's my point.
He should have
not
won.
think.
But do you know the other candidates?
My point, I don't know the other candidate.
Funny enough, if you go on the other candidates, people that actually stay there, we all know Banky W because he's a celebrity. That's why we know him. If we didn't know Banky W as a celebrity, then we wouldn't even know the person running for that position. We all know him generally.
He campaigned.
Not really. Not really. Okay, go on his wife's Instagram and check how many campaign videos is there. We all know him.
That's his wife's Instagram now.
We all know him. You said people around him now, people campaign. We all know Banky W because he's a celebrity. If that other guy was a celebrity, we would have known him too. It's just because he's a public figure. But if you go on that other guy's Twitter, there's videos of him, pictures of him actually working. People say, this guy, he was going door to door. He was actually holding, going about cleaning, like community service cleaning and all of that.
Do you think people voted that LP guy because they knew him or because he was LP?
I think he got, majorly because he was LP actually. And then he actually, I don't even know how to put it. Majorly because he was LP, but most people that would have been voting for Banky W, a majority of them would have voted for him because he was Banky W, not necessarily because of his political achievements or anything.
That's a lot better because you're supposed to vote in the individual. The party.
Okay,
the party itself.
How about okay, we should vote Banky W because he's literally what he's doing. He does acting. We should vote him because of that. How about Desmond Elliot that's there? What has he done?
That's not what I said. I said vote in the individual. Don't misinterpret me.
Vote
What I said was Banky W. Vote for Banky W because you know Banky W. You are aware of his existence. Obviously you should do more research, right? And you should check in and see what he has done. But then it makes more sense for you to go for someone you actually know exists than someone you don't know.
I don't think so. It's not about it's I get your point, but it's not necessarily because we know the person. We have to know if this person will be able to work. And Banky W is because he is a celebrity. That's why you guys feel like, we probably should have won. That's why we literally so. Okay, how about the Desmond Elliot guy that was voted in because he was a celebrity and causing you. What has he done?
Well, I'm not saying that's because he's a celebrity.
People that were like, oh my God, Banky should have won. Just people legit wanted Banky to win, but because of that whole LP,
Even if people
The other guy is also a human, and he did deserve it. He was also seen campaigning just like he campaigned like Banky W. So why should Banky W win and not him? He's also a person that campaigned just like he did. So why shouldn't he win as well? Banky W campaigned, he campaigned. So why do you have a problem with the fact that Banky W did not win and he won? He's also
I have a problem with the fact that people voted
by
based on
party.
party
Yes,
sentiment,
that's what I was
and
saying.
not because they know their candidates.
I from
That's why I have a problem with
there
it.
is
The LP factor helps him. That's there, but there are still people that say,
It helped
"Oh,
him majorly. That was what gave him his
there are still
That's
people.
why I'm saying
There are still
people know
people.
Banky.
There are
People
still
don't know
people.
this guy.
There are still
So,
people that said, "Oh, this guy is like they actually know him and he was actually campaigning."
And what are the
and those
people?
people that voted for him value.
they're not verified.
Okay, no, we cannot quantify the number of people that do that.
No, not like number.
No,
Like,
that-
I'm saying percent. Like they're barely.
I saw a good number of persons that actually said that, not five.
Okay, I agree. Those people I agree with. If you know him, you need the individual, right? Vote for him. But then my problem is the people that did not know him. You had no idea who this guy was, but you voted him in. It doesn't make any sense. And to me, there's no justification for it. You just said that you should know. You mentioned when you were talking that you should know. We should know who we are voting for, and that's my basis for advocating for people voting for banking in the first place. Because not because he's an actor, but because they are aware of his existence. It's not enough to vote a candidate in a truly democratic system, in a system that is run properly. But now that you at least know this person face value, it's better to vote someone that you know in face value than someone you don't know at all. You don't know this guy's name. I'm sorry, but the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know.
Oh well, I hopefully the guy.
There works. Hopefully he works because he's also. Yeah, hopefully he actually works. We're all hoping he works so everybody can just chill. That's not Banky W's seat, so he doesn't have to be there. There's someone else there, and we hope he works, basically. So
But it's a tribe mindset, I say.
Is it true?
Yeah. The thing is, everybody belongs to a tribe.
Oh, tribe, not as per like Yoruba, not like ethnic tribe, like tribe as per your clan.
Yeah.
Okay, clan. Yeah.
In Nigeria, we use all the ethnicity as our tribe to easily blend into society. So that's why you keep hearing things like he's Yoruba, so he has to rule our Yoruba land. If you go back, if you go back to when Nigeria was developing, Tafawa Balewa, and that's what is causing this whole unity not being one. Tafawa Balewa was supposed to help us talk to the northern people to tell them that, oh, I know you are scared, but we are one.
Yeah.
Yes, there are different people, but us first, but last, we are still one. That was what he was supposed to do. Then one Igbo man went to eliminate him. And you still feel that that same Igbo man, when we've not gone past tribalism, so you still feel that that same Igbo man, the Northerners, will listen to him.
But again, it was flowed from he was even Tafawa Balewa was pushing the Northernization agenda. He was pushing that agenda. A lot of our founding fathers had the wrong mentality.
It was would form Nigeria, then we would form North, West, South. That was why we were all together at first. If you like read through what happened before, you will notice that before we got our independence, when you are going to talk to the whites or when you are going to talk to the British, you see Awolowo, you shall see Yoruba people going, you see a northern person going, you see a south person going. So we're fighting for Nigeria. The second fight was now fighting for just north, just west, just south. Because if you notice, everybody was bringing their best man to speak. So at that point, an Igbo man executed Tafawa Balewa. And that one was not even enough. You did not kill the people that plotted it with you. You just give them
No, I think it was Murtala. No, it was Agbeni Ransi that came in after and then arrested all of them. But then they
yes,
weren't killed. They weren't killed, yeah.
exactly. So that's what spoilt it. And Nigerians have this tribalism mindset. And the thing about tribalism, is that in Nigeria you use ethnicity. So you kick in or you click once with, oh, I'm Igbo. Oh, you're Igbo, my daughter. Oh, talk your Igbo. You're Yoruba, talk your Yoruba. But individuals should have like a what's the word now? They should have a separate identity. Yes. Aside from,
The group.
yes. Because the group is a fixed entity. It has its rules. It has its. That's why Northerners, you see, they are so hell bent on like, he's my brother, I do it for him. Because that's the rule. But you should go beyond
Yeah.
that
Beyond the group.
tribalism, whatever. So you see, Tinubu, you are looking at him because he is the best that can solve Nigeria's problem at this time. At this point, nobody will, no Northerner will listen to an Igbo man. You don't even pick the strongest Northerner as your number two. So that, okay, if you want to talk to the North, you send him, not you yourself. He picked a, like this. But Tinubu can talk to the North. Tinubu can talk to the South. Tinubu still picked a second person who is like, okay, strong. That's what Nigeria needs.
The basic-
Nigerians want to work. Yes. Another thing is, you don't want a leader who is not capable of chaos. People will tell you Tollgate. Tollgate was very bad, yes. But you would prefer that type of leader over a Peter Obi,
I don't get what sense.
in the sense that you are trying to, what's the word now? You don't show that you are capable of violence. Let me put it like that.
That's extreme violence.
No, did I?
Like
Did I?
killing people is extreme violence.
Are you
It's
trying to
very-
say,
that's a
are you
lack
trying to say
of-
that it was he was right killing people?
No, I not.
As
I
a
not.
show.
I before I just said this, I just said that it was sad, but
You're trying to say it was sad, but it should have happened.
it should not have happened. There were other ways you could have done it. What I'm trying to say is that you need a firm leader.
But not that firm.
Yeah, I
Maybe-
don't even think
That's an
she-
extreme.
No, that's
That's an
I don't
extreme.
even-
Yes,
I
that's-
don't even think you should use that scenario actually.
Yeah.
Because
It's not.
it's hard. You're right now. You're speaking in circles.
Mhm.
I don't know what you're saying. You said you need a firm leader, and you use that as an instance. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm
I don't-
struggling to understand.
Okay, let me use US again. Trump was there. The reason everybody hated Trump was very, very aggressive. It was extreme. Let me put it like that. They removed a Trump. They put in an Obi, a less aggressive, less violent, that type of thing. Now see what they are facing. US has been talking about gender roles. You saying you are born a girl, and you can come out and say, you want to be a man. Then there was another one that I read. No, not even read. She came on Piers Morgan's show, and she was saying, if you want to say something triggering, if you want to say something, all those type of talk,
Yeah.
you should like raise your hand or something. A teacher should raise the hand. Or there was still another one that our prayer, our Father who art in heaven, that prayer, it should not be our Father. It should be our is it our so that kind of
Like, I get what you're
that kind of
saying.
thing.
I get what you're saying.
Like people want a soft empathy hand, but the outcome of having a soft empathy hand is somewhere like Nigeria is not going to be
Wait,
but
nice.
most of
I
these
feel-
arguments, especially in the US,
Mm.
like with these gender arguments,
Mm.
were going on when Trump was president. That had nothing to do with his fairness. That's just the people's general belief.
Was it as rampant?
Maybe not as popular. Do you understand? But then again, it's becoming, as time progresses,
Mm.
they're going to see an increase in the popularity of most of those views because they're going to start pushing it more. Do you understand? Trump has been there, time has passed.
Mm.
So definitely with the passage of time, there's also going to be an increase in popularity of these views. I don't think that has anything to do with him being a firm leader.
Mm.
I understand what you're saying in the sense that you need a firm leader. But then the Tollgate example, for me, is extremism.
That one was extreme.
It's
No,
not,
I'm
it's
telling
not
you,
being
it was-
firm, it's
I'm
just a
telling you-
lack of empathy.
Exactly. It's not being fair.
This US one as well doesn't really play a role in you being firm because it's just the beliefs of the people, the mores of the people at that time, or at least the most publicly accepted views being projected widely. Do you understand? And that's
But
why you're going to see
there
more
was-
of it.
There was, I think,
There are still Republicans
I think
that don't
Trump-
believe in
I
that don't
think-
believe in these views.
Definitely.
They're not just as loud.
I think it was. Are we debating? No,
I
don't.
get what he's saying,
No,
and I think he had me when he was talking about group identity. Group identity has to be separate from an individual identity. Do you know what group identity is?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the problem with that is you judge an individual based off of how the group looks, right? And it cannot you cannot take that for every single scenario. You cannot classify for every single scenario. And that's what people use to vote in these elections. And that was the problem. Is that they chose group identity over individual identity. If my beliefs right, in Nigeria no longer matter because the majority of people are bad, then it's a problem. It's the same group identity is the issue we have when we go to embassy. They see a select few that are bad, that go to various countries and they steal or whatever, and then they think I am bad as well. Do you understand? My identity, my thoughts, my beliefs must be separate from the group, and they must be judged separately from the group. Do you get? So when picking a candidate, that's what I'm saying. When picking a candidate, you must look at A, B, C, and evaluate them. Now, if you don't know anything about A, B, C, and you know A's name, you know something about A. So it makes more sense for you to pick the person you know something about. I'm not saying, that's what I was trying to think. I'm not saying vote for Banky because Banky is an actor. I'm saying because you know something about him, that should be an underlying reason to vote for him.
But that's majorly why we don't vote. Because,
Okay, do you think you can still vote on, let's say, for example, there are 3 candidates, right? I know 1 candidate, but I don't know 2 others. But then I know the 1 candidate I know, he doesn't do any job. Like, he's just a bad person. Like, he gets nothing done. Does it make sense for me to pick between B and C? Because I know, A won't get the job done. I don't really know B and C, but I say, let me just give it to B and C. Because either ways, now, when I pick between B and C, there's a chance that they might work or they might not work. But I already know that A is not going to work. He's not working. Yes, A is not going to work. That's the only chance there is with him. But there's B and C. I still have 2 chances. They might work, they might not work. So don't you think it's better to give it to B or C?
What I think it's better to do is proceed back to thinking. What does thinking say I do? Thinking says I evaluate B and C. I learn as much as I can about B and C.
Well, I'm just saying in a situation where you don't, what's the best option?
Why?
Yes. Why would
No, I'm
you
just
do?
saying, okay, yes, I didn't go prepared. Fine, that's wrong.
That's our problem.
Wrong, but now I'm there. I didn't go prepared. Now I'm there.
So why is there if you're not prepared?
I'm just there. So what's the best decision to take? And I have
You
to
go back home.
I'm telling you.
I don't have to go back home. I try to say no, this person, because someone will get there anyways. That's the point.
Unless
Then you
you.
let the people that actually know.
Whether I go back
Exactly.
home or not, someone will get there. So I'm going to decide that the bad person doesn't get there by picking between the other 2.
But you don't know if the
How do you know the
other
other person is a bad
But the
person?
other person is also bad. So
How do you know it's bad?
I mean,
no, I'm just saying. I already said I know the other person. I know he's not a good option.
I know now.
So
How do you know it's bad now?
no, she has a. Well, this is just a
already-
hypothetical scenario.
I
That
already-
this
Okay, we're
person is
just-
bad.
We're just
Yeah.
assuming.
I already know.
That this person is bad. Agreed.
Well, not as
But
okay, no
if you
problem.
are going to get there, and now you are going to say, "Oh, you don't know anything about B and C, but you are still going to vote," then
It
I'm
makes
sorry.
no sense.
Yes, it makes no sense. But ignorance.
Nah, she just put it straight. I swear, you put it straight.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah, it
better.
makes no sense. But already these other people have proven time and time again to not.
So how about
I think the
let
point.
people that actually know what people can do less like.
Isn't that a better option? Is
Okay.
it that you know, or you stay back from talking? I mean, we advocate that all the time.
Well, how do we know that everybody that voted LP? Because we're actually talking about the LP from Dr. Bottom here, right?
Yeah.
How do we know that there are people that did not evaluate them?
And I agree. And I said those people that
There
evaluated
are
and voted
actually
them.
people, so let's not assume that there are people that said LP from top to bottom and they still went back to evaluate,
Fantastic.
not necessarily just LP from top to bottom.
Then they did well.
It wasn't really like entirely the case.
Then they did well.
So
Those
maybe
people
even
are
that
what
guy,
That one makes sense.
maybe even that guy that won the election as against you guys banking, the people actually evaluated
I
him.
asked you this question.
Yeah.
And you said yes. I asked you, I said, do you believe that guy won on the basis of the fact that people actually knew him or because of his party?
But come to think about it then, if I
There, right? If I live there and I really believe in Banky W, I would have voted for him. I would probably have done the LP for like the other two candidates, and then I would have been like, okay, this guy, Banky, I know he'll work, so I would have been specific about that. So maybe they didn't really even believe so much in him at the end of the day.
Or they didn't want to believe because
No.
of his party.
Okay, that's one. But two things. Do you believe in the power of propaganda?
Yeah.
So, propaganda basically is the spreading of news. It could be, most of the time it's false news, right? Now, the thing about propaganda is when people get news, most of the time it tends to increase how bad it is, right? When you are spreading a certain narrative, and let's say the narrative now, in this case, is LP top to bottom, people take it on their heads. They stop thinking. They get to a point where it's just this thing we've been hearing, we're going to follow it and follow it and follow it and follow it and follow it through. It's not correct information. It's not logically processed information. But it is information that is being passed from one person to another. And therefore, automatically, to the human mind, it becomes valid.
But funny enough, the thing is, if, like I said, a lot of persons that
Campaigned under the other parties are people that people already know. Do you understand? They are people that people already know. So the point is, if they were actually working and people could see the work they were doing, I don't think they would have seen the need to make a change. They would have probably let it be. So they didn't do enough work to actually make people want to bring them back.
Some agree.
and that's
But a vast majority, they just voted LP top to bottom. Why did you vote LP top to bottom?
because I wasn't seeing any work the other persons were doing.
Did you
actually.
check?
Yes, I did. I wasn't seeing anything.
Okay, so where did you vote?
Wait a minute.
Hmm?
In school, we didn't
Univen. So that means you voted within Edo State. So you voted for Edo Senators. That's the name.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so now the senator you voted for Edo State. What's his name?
I didn't even know his name.
Okay. Who has competitors?
Who are his competitors? I don't know.
What campus did you vote in? Ekenwa or Univen or Ubo?
Univen, Ubo.
Ubo. Okay.
Yeah.
What senatorial district is that? That's my point.
That's Edo South.
Are you guessing? Or
I think it is.
that's my point. If you're not sure who it is, you can never be sure the senators contesting there.
OJ for president.
Thank you, people.
What
But
I said OJ for president.
if you're not sure what senatorial district that is, you can never be sure the people contesting there.
What do you
If you're
mean
not
what?
sure the people contesting there, how
Well,
do you know who's voting?
I also mentioned that I actually checked their qualifications, not necessarily sticking their names in my head.
I think okay. I'm not asking about the name. I'm asking where you voted.
I actually checked their qualifications and I saw that it was good enough.
And you no problem. You
So
check.
it wasn't like,
Now I'm asking where you voted.
yeah,
That senatorial district.
yeah.
What is it called?
I think it's good.
That's my problem.
I'm not even certain.
The fact that's my problem. The fact that I'm not certain, you cannot be certain of the senators. So how are you certain of what you checked?
Because I literally checked all of them. I checked all of them. Like I checked all of them for LP. I checked for every district, not just one.
Okay.
So basically, I knew that it was all, not one.
No problem. I don't want to see myself coming out at you, but I just want you to see that my problem is most people did not check.
Yeah.
Most people don't even
How do
know
you know they did not check?
because of people have had conversations.
People who came on this to say it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't check.
Abi,
Talked about us.
But if we're actually seeing the work that the others were putting in, if we're actually seeing changes in our community, if we're actually seeing them passing bills that were passing bills that were going to help us, you think we would not really take
See,
it
that's
up?
the thing
Because
again.
as
That's the
much
problem.
as bad news travels fast, good news also
That's the
travels
problem.
not as fast.
See,
Well,
no,
as
that's-
much as the electoral bill now, nobody celebrated that bill, and it was
People
a major.
actually did. Are you serious? People actually did. Yes, people did. People did celebrate
Did you
that.
celebrate it?
Yes, I did. When we heard about the beavers, we
How come when I
we
told
knew
you-
that-
But how come when you said
You're so. But I asked
He
you.
wasn't listening. When it happened, I did like I knew I spoke to somebody about it. Like we're happy. Like this. Like there was even when people were like even when I speak to my friends that they should vote. People that don't even believe in voting, I'll be like, I beg, go still rig. And I'm always like, they can't rig. The electoral, like, there's no way they can rig. So
No,
people actually spoke about it.
but you see, the problem that I feel most people face in Nigeria is that we want something big. We don't want.
Progressive. change.
Yes, and that's the way change happens. You go small, small.
Change is
Nigerians just
progressive.
want to wake up tomorrow. Okay, let's say Obi entered. What Nigerians will tell you would have happened? President tomorrow. Next week, dollar is 250.
Ooh.
No,
I know, but
I
again,
don't think so.
I don't think
I'm not
people were
using.
that
I'm not
expectant.
using
I think
that.
that's
No,
just-
no, I'm
I think
over
that's
exaggerating. I'm
just
over exaggerating, but I'm telling you
You
that.
know, we can say it's cruising, but I think people in their hearts actually believe the change
Yeah.
will be that quick.
Yeah,
I saw tweets.
maybe not
I
250,
saw
but at
tweets
least
that scared
500.
me. Some girls were like, oh, let Obi enter so that the price of weed will go down. And I'm like, it's
No, that was very irritating.
That quick.
And my first
I
lady,
think
Bob
to
Wig
be
already.
It's not that
to
quick.
be honest, to be
Like-
honest, to be honest, I think it is cruise. I think that's cruise. Like how
This
how
particular one
would
sounds
anybody
It should be
think
cruise.
that?
It sounds like cruise.
Funny enough,
That's
I'm
what
not
you would
even
think,
expecting-
Naomi.
I'm not even expecting everything to change. Like right now, I think everybody's expecting the bread because every day things are changing. You might go today to try to buy something, and let's say they're selling for 10 naira. Tomorrow you go it's 20 naira. So I'm not even expecting things to just start going back to their normal prices. I'm just expecting it to be stable right now. I want to go today to buy something for 10 naira. It's 10 naira. If I go in 2 weeks,
It's
it's
not
that
going to
price.
change.
I don't want it to keep changing every single day, basically.
But
If
you
it's
see,
changing, I think
but you
it's
see
Let me
the
tell
problem. You
Even
see,
if it's Obi has one, let me tell you why this prices would have never been stable. They're going to remove fuel subsidy in June, right? The budget was for half year. So fuel subsidy goes in June. So fuel is going to be at, I think, about 400 naira. As fuel goes up to 400 naira, this country, most of the businesses in this country are heavily reliant on fuel. So as fuel has gone to 400 naira, that means the cost of production has gone up. Cost of production goes up, what happens automatically? The cost of prices goes up. So Peter Obi being president would have not stopped the cost of prices going up. Would have not even made them stable. That was something that was out of his control. The prices would have still gone up. So when people come up with the idea that, oh, I just want the prices to be stable. I saw another one where someone was like, no, we will just day. We're not going to just day.
I think it's cruise. Nobody's expecting magic.
no, it's not cruise.
But you just
That's the
said
thing.
you're
A lot
expecting
of
prices to be
no,
stable.
see, a lot of Nigerians are not politically aware. Yes, you know APC, you know PD, but you don't really know the
No,
way
the
it
issues.
works. Not history. I'm not even talking history.
I didn't say the history, I said the issues.
Yes, exactly. You don't know the way it works. So a lot, trust me, a lot of average. Let me not put Nigeria. A lot of average below Nigerians expected that Obi will come, fuel will be good, dollar will be good,
Oh
and
well,
Just like you said, prices-
that was from your point of view.
But isn't that the reason why you guys are losing him?
I
that,
That was. I've even forgotten what I was saying.
You said that was from his point of view.
That's from your point of view, but I don't think. I feel like it was all cruise. Everything changing so fast. I saw a video where Nigeria literally looked like New York. That was what it. But it was obviously cruise. It's not going to happen like.
the prices will be
so
stable.
not that.
yeah, things wouldn't change so
So
fast.
not that.
Things will have changed. I just pray for that things will have changed.
I don't know. I don't think so. Like you should get
Not
there.
for the better.
You should-
He's
you
not
should
talking
get
for the
there.
better.
You should get there first.
No, he's not talking for the better.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You should get there first. Then we'll see.
That's something that's out of his control.
You should get there first. When you get there.
But you see,
Okay,
then
if he
again,
gets
then
there
again,
and
When
things
he gets
become
there.
worse.
then again.
Again, this is something that's out of his control.
Mm.
Keep in mind, I just want to say something. This is something that's out of his control. I expect the prices of goods to increase, mainly because the cost of fuel is going to increase, and all of a sudden things are going to go. It's just logical train of events, right? Now, let's say he becomes president today. He's instituted as president today, hypothetically, and that thing happens. Will you hate him immediately? Will you say he made things worse?
No, I wouldn't, because I already understood the whole subsidy removal thing and the effects, basically. Like you said, that's under his control, but the things that was not under his control, but at least the things that would be under his control would actually work for us to see clearly.
Okay, so what exactly is that? Like what? Like what was your criteria for voting again?
What was my criteria?
Yes, like what? Why would you say, oh, this person is my candidate? Oh, because it's seeming like. Anyway, Sha, just tell me what you think. What was your
Well,
what's your criteria for voting him?
my criteria, basically better government, better infrastructure, policies that will help the economy to grow. as you can see, the economy is gone. Like, it's gone. Security. The country is so insecure. So we're hoping that he would actually... Because the person that's even there, he literally doesn't care about anything. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't speak. The country might be burning and he wouldn't say a word. So, so we need somebody that would actually... He speaks.
I don't believe that. You see, when you are.
Buhari
Oh, is it
speaks.
Buhari we are talking about?
Yeah.
No, that was at the point they're saying no, like...
Sorry.
It's Buhari we're talking about.
It's Buhari.
Because at the point where I said he doesn't speak, you were like, no. So
I thought you were talking about.
You're on point. I was thinking of another person. Sorry,
Okay.
but Sha, what do you feel Nigeria's future holds?
I don't know when we're out of court, but for now,
Oh wait, you're following the court.
on God.
It's funny.
Wow.
No, wait. So you think the only savior for Nigeria is Peter Obi?
Tinubu wouldn't do anything.
Well, how can you guarantee that? How do you know that?
No, I just want yes or no. You think that Peter Obi is the only savior for Nigeria?
Yes. Don't put it as savior, but
Okay, the only person that can make Nigeria work again.
from the other persons the other major candidates, basically, that's the only...
So let me just mention this. I don't know why this man isn't even in question, but let's talk about Atiku.
Oh, yeah.
But like, the power thing is giving,
man.
as if it's only between APC and LP. Atiku exists too. This guy, he was vice president, and if you check like when he was vice president, the level of insecurity wasn't as high as it is now.
That's reduced.
Like, do you get?
Their
Like,
management office was actually situated in vice
like,
president.
it's not giving like,
Okay, who did you vote for?
me.
That's between her. That's between her.
It's a
That's
secret
our
ballot.
own. That's our own. Exactly.
Actually,
That's our own.
See, again, that's part of the problem. Okay, you see.
Gen Z is pushing this shit up,
Wait,
bro.
see, this is another
Who did
thing.
you vote for?
Exactly.
Wait,
Gen Z
no,
is
wait,
pushing
no.
this shit
I
up.
just explained to you that it is illegal. It is a secret ballot. And your response was, oh, please. Oh, you want a better country.
Okay, let's leave that aside. Let's leave that aside.
aside?
Let's leave that aside. I did, to be honest, I didn't really know. No, hold on.
Post who you vote. I want to know.
Hold on, I didn't know that after that process, like, the process is done. I don't think if she tells me who she voted, it really affects anything. So I thought it was like in that process.
Constitutionally, it's a secret ballot.
Okay, I thought it was in the moment. That's why I asked her, basically. I didn't know it was it. But what's the point
What's the point of what?
of it being secret at this point? Because it doesn't really affect anything.
I didn't vote, Sha, in all these things.
But yeah,
I didn't
that
vote.
makes a lot.
I didn't vote because,
Right now,
because in all these things.
it's, but the election is done already.
The election is done, but then
Like, no, people, yes, it's done, but
Yeah.
no, it's still like the same way you are just calm. There are people that you are affecting, like, you voted Tinubu, Abi. Like, there are people that will cross you once.
Me, I
Straight.
that's what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is we want a better Nigeria. We want things done right? We want a better Nigeria. You want a better Nigeria.
Yes.
You want a better Nigeria.
Definitely.
I want a better Nigeria. Now, if we want a better Nigeria, then it is important that we follow processes we are supposed to be following. That's the reason. It's not because the election has passed. The reason we are doing it.
No, I didn't even know.
About that. That's the first thing. And then when you said it, first thought I had was, okay, what's actually the point? Like, how does it affect? I understand why it's a secret ballot at that point,
Yeah.
but now I don't understand why after it's done, it's still like...
Because it's supposed to take it's supposed to give protection to the person that is voting. That is it. So it means you have the right within any country, your basic human right, you have the right to vote and be voted for. Right? So what the constitution is trying to say is you can go vote who you want and then we will protect you. As far you don't have to tell anyone who you voted for.
You don't
So
have
that
to.
people don't come out and attack you.
Yeah.
You don't have to. When
Yeah.
you say you don't have to, it feels like you have options.
It's not even you don't. It's like you should, exactly. You should not.
But then a lot of our leaders actually voted and then showed. Guy, that thing, I was so confused. Like they would take pictures.
Yeah, they all did like this.
How
Yeah,
many
they're not
names
supposed
do
to.
you please?
No, I don't want to put names to because it's just I don't feel the need calling out anybody like that. But it's
But
wrong.
they know themselves.
They know themselves. It's wrong. You shouldn't do that.
So we were somewhere before. Oh yeah.
Find us, host. Find
What
us.
is it?
We're lost.
So we've spoken about a lot today, and we've been like, so what are your before coming to this show? What were your expectations, and after, yeah, what have your expectations? Have they changed?
Why you guys looking at me? So
No, because he started with, I'm sorry,
no, I don't get. Why you guys looking at me?
I like see,
I'm
I
not
like it's just it's so hard to miss you. Like you are the first person I'm saying like, oh
No,
shit, she's here.
You were looking at me, and both of them were looking at me.
Yes, now start now.
sorry. I'm looking at the camera now.
OJ, please start. She's on the
No,
spot.
again, my expectation for every this middle one is gone. Are you serious? I've been talking to nobody since. I'm sorry. On that. Okay, my expectation, right, before coming to the show was, for me, I just want to grow. That's it. That's my personal goal. Is that every single day I'm striving to improve as an individual. So I just hope that at the end of the conversation, that I'll have learned something, and I have. Right. So at the end of it, I learned that people have different perspectives.
But you always know that.
Not
Okay,
to the
it's
degree that
Not
you
not
have.
to the degree that you might have known, that might have thought you knew it, right? That's one. Another thing is you pointed out. I think it was important for me to see in real time how most people that support Labour Party actually view things on the outside. And I don't want to say no, but it feels like you are very emotional about it, and you should be emotional about it because it's a very difficult situation that we are in, right? And when, at least for me, I've been looking at it very logically, right? So I've been looking at it very logically. So it was good for me to kind of just examine that you guys have that perspective. The look on your face.
Naomi, we're not going
answer
to
satisfied.
Naomi, we're not going to skip.
I like that,
No, I'll have another one with her. For this one is
man. I like
not.
you, man.
She's not really talk. So what's your?
Oh, sorry. Dude. Oh, me. Okay, yes. What did I learn? Are we?
You just came to
Boy,
vibe. Don't worry. See, Andy, what's your?
My expectation, I actually,
Before the show and after.
me personally, I was always looking at this election from like an everybody point of view because I had everybody like I was listening to like all the arguments from everywhere. So like I really didn't have a particular candidate in mind. Okay, I did Sha, but like and it was PDP. I'm not even going to lie. I personally supported Atiku.
I like that.
For the reason,
I like to.
like the reason was I felt like at least when he was in power, I knew like there were certain things that were not the way they are now. So like okay, I had a little bit of faith that okay, if he should come in, he would do this or at least would make things better.
Yeah.
So like I supported him, but you dare not mention that outside. They'll beat you because
And you just mentioned it on the
So,
YouTube
like-
channel. High five!
So like, no, like so I just personally I didn't get my PVC not because of any other thing, but I wasn't even able to get it anyway.
Okay.
But even if I had, like based on the experience that my mom had, because me and my mom we shared the same business, and she was also PDP business. So she was like, oh, if you go there, if you mention any other party that is not Labour Party, that everybody is going to start clamoring for, oh, you don't know what you're doing or this. So like I was just very glad I wasn't involved in all that. Like
You
personally,
didn't like trying to get the PVC.
did I try?
No, you said was it in the process of trying to get the PVC that happened?
No, this was like during election itself. My mom voted. So this was her like what she
Experience.
yes. So I was like, I'm so glad I wasn't involved in this whole thing. But I'm very glad I was able to meet with a Labour Party representative. So it's good to hear how you all view your things. That's just the shit. Formal views, I guess.
What were my expectations, right? I just came to basically speak and learn and have fun.
This is the first time I'm meeting Annie, by the way. But yeah,
This is the first time I'm meeting you too, by the way, and everyone else here.
that was crazy, man. That was crazy. Shout out to my cameraman too.
He's a man.
But man, it has been amazing having you guys here. I won't even lie. I picked up a few. Yeah, picked up a few. I'm not a fan of the way majority of people
Speaking of
to
fans, can we on that?
it would affect the mic.
Okay.
I'm not just a fan of the way people made or the way people make decisions emotionally. Yes, it's not easy, but yes, it's not easy. Yes, you are suffering. Yes, people are dying. But at the end of the day, you should always make your decision logically, emotionally. Yeah, you should mix the two. But the point where you are coming out like they ordained Peter Obi, like he's the next savior. Like people were coming and saying, I saw a vision, I saw a prayer,
But
don't
did
worry,
I,
this
did I
happened.
talk
That
like that? I
no,
didn't
not
talk
you,
like
not you. I'm not talking about you.
Accidentally.
Why you can't see? I can't see that right?
well, I said
But
this is
like if you go on Twitter, you see people saying, "I prayed. Let's wait. His inauguration, something bigger." Like I don't just like the fact that people made it seem like God appointed him or that kind of thing. If you want to make a decision, I feel like you should always, in Nigeria's case, what is wrong with Nigeria and who can fix
That
that
particular
problem.
problem. Yeah.
That the problem in Nigeria right now is tribalism. And the best man,
Disunity. It's disunity.
exactly, the best man can preach tribalism. You pick. If you feel it's Peter Obi, no problem. If you feel it's Atiku, no problem. If you feel it's His Excellency, Asiwaju.
Also, I just want to add that
Wow.
please, if we are discussing tribalism, I really endorse intertribal marriages. Please, it's going to stop all this tribalistic whatever that's
No,
happening.
no,
Yes.
no. But
Yes.
that has been in society. What will stop tribalism is if people like Tinubu, people like Kwan Kwanso, did I get that name right?
Congress.
Yes. So people like that, people who in each what's the word, in each ethnicity stand up. Just what Tafawa Balewa was supposedly doing. What
He wasn't
every
really doing this
yes,
radicalization
but
agenda.
I get what you're trying, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
People who each tribe look up to. So in order to pick, there's always that one person that everybody looks up to. As crazy as Buhari did not work, a lot of people look up to
Yeah.
Buhari
Yeah.
because they tell you he's a very straight man. He doesn't do this. He doesn't like you get. So if Buhari can come up and say, "Oh, um, tribalism is not real. This blah blah blah," change the narrative. Tribalism will die, but it's not now to die. It's just like this LGBTQ. It started since. It started from your movies. It started from you doing small. You see in Netflix shows. You see rainbow and be like, yeah. The next thing now, see, it's so rampant. Like it's very rampant. So it's small. Like from the people in primary six right now, people in primary six, you tell them, oh, we are one Nigeria. Those are the people that will change Nigeria. Us, we have,
It's
we
not our
have,
generation. It's not our
man, we've gone.
We
Trust
might
me,
not
we've
we
gone.
might not be the ones to bring the change. But
Yes,
we
we
just
had changes, but
we have to hope
gone.
it's our kids that see it.
We've gone.
They're basically watching what we're doing.
Doing at the end of the day, because kids.
Yeah, that's why you said that
Exactly.
they
Yeah,
should,
what you
like,
want,
they should
I'm doing
educate
the
them.
right
So I think if we don't even like we are gone, if we don't even try to change, how can we change the kids? Because they are literally looking at us. They don't even know what tribalism is when they are very young. It's from looking at us now. Yeah, but yes, they are. But from the playground, everybody's just vibing. Nobody's really thinking. Like we all think we're the same in a way. We don't even know all these things, and it's from, and it's from,
It's not true.
and it's bullied you.
Like legit,
Because-
no, not necessarily because of tribe, but kids are cynical.
That's what I'm trying to
Kids are
say.
cynical. Like in the north now, tribalism again. I think it's an extension of disunity. I just wanted to say that. Then two, it has to do with your environment, right? So here in the South, we can view it as, oh, it's tribalistic behavior and it might not be prevalent amongst our kids. But now in the North, imagine at home, it's a normal thing for them to say, oh, people in the South are this or people in the South are bad.
And that's what I'm
And
telling you.
kids take that to school.
Yeah, true.
A child that is 3 years or 4 years will know how to be tribalistic.
Yeah, now that's the point I'm making. If we don't change, we cannot change them because they are literally watching us. So if we remain the same, hoping that the kids will change it when they grow up. But they are looking at us. So if we don't change, it's still going to be the same process. We have to change for them to be able to change because it's us they are looking at.
How do we change? That kind of thing. We're not doing tribalism or whatever. Wait, what the fuck am I even saying? Now I've confused myself. Let me read.
Take a second.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.